I want to talk about our new effort, Meta Superintelligence Labs, and our vision to build personal superintelligence for everyone. AI keeps accelerating, and over the past few months, we've begun to see glimpses of AI systems improving themselves.
So the first claim is correct. I mean, we have seen proof of AI systems self-healing almost to a scary degree. There have been reports of, sentient behavior with some of these AIs, but we'll get into that later.
So developing superintelligence is now in sight. But there's this big open question about what we should direct superintelligence towards.
Yeah, so I've been saying this all along. I think that people need to be very vocal how AI fits into their life. It's very easy to use AI as a surveillance system like Palantir is doing with the government. I don't think that serves anyone's benefit.
A lot has been written about the scientific and economic advances that AI can bring, and I'm really optimistic about this. But I think an even more meaningful impact in our lives is going to come from everyone having a personal superintelligence that helps you achieve your goals.
So I disagree with this concept. I mean, from a theoretical perspective, intelligence is part of a collective. So when you talk about intelligence, it's relative to something, right? So if I say that I'm an intelligent person in itself, that doesn't really mean anything unless it's related to other people. So when you talk about super intelligence, you can't get away from qualities of network. And obviously he's taking this approach because he's probably tired of dealing with social networking, right?
Create what you want to see in the world, be a better friend, and grow to become the person that you aspire to be. This vision is different from others in the industry who want to direct AI at automating all of the valuable work.
I agree with this. I mean, he's also not innocent here. When Meta started to pivot to AI, there were a lot of layoffs within Meta as they started to position. So he's not innocent here. He used AI as an excuse to downsize his company.
At Meta, we believe in putting the power of superintelligence in people's hands to direct it towards what they value in their own lives. Some of this will be about improving productivity.
I agree. When you talk about AI improving people's personal lives, this is what Apple and Apple Intelligence is really after. And this is why Apple has been very, very outspoken about user privacy. And, hearing Zuckerberg talk about this, it's noble in a lot of ways, but he is probably the last person to trust with your personal data.
But a lot of it may be more personal in nature. This is going to be a new era in some ways, but in others, it's just a continuation of historical trends. About 200 years ago, 90% of people were farmers growing food to survive. Today, fewer than 2% grow all of our food. Advances in technology have freed much of humanity to focus less on subsistence and more on the pursuits that we choose.
This is kind of a weird analogy. I mean, I think food is still very important. You look at the agriculture industry, we wouldn't be fed without our farmers. This isn't to say technology hasn't, evolved agriculture, but it's very odd that he points out food as an excuse to use AI. A little weird.
And at each step along the way, most people have decided to use their newfound productivity to spend more time on creativity, culture, relationships, and just enjoying life.
So, yeah, I mean, I do agree with, the fact that, Meta has been very prominent voice in the intersection between technology and culture. But I think most people would agree overall, they've been a detriment to culture with likes, fake followers, and doing a lot of things that have really affected the lives of young people. So interesting.
And I expect superintelligence to accelerate this trend even more. The intersection of technology and culture is where Meta focuses, and this will only become more important over time. If trends continue, I expect that people will spend less time on productivity software and more time creating and connecting. I think that personal devices like glasses that can see what we see, hear what we hear, and interact with us throughout the day are going to become our main computing devices. I believe deeply in building personal superintelligence for everyone. And at Meta, we have the resources to build the massive infrastructure required.
This is very interesting. First of all, Meta does have the resources to do this. They have a lot of cash on hand, but when you look at their previous products, they have been acquired, right? Instagram, WhatsApp, I think TBH, I believe, that they actually shut down. So Meta has actually had a very, very poor track record of actually building things in-house to success. They've released a lot of products over the last, I don't know, 10 years or so. Threads, I mean, obviously is not doing very well. They released an app called Paper, which is very interesting. It had a very pretty UI in which they really took out the news feed and made it its own app. Also failed and they shut it down. So when you look at the tools and technology and software that Meta has built in-house, almost all of it has been a failure.
And the ability to deliver new technology to billions of people. I'm excited to build this future, and we've got a lot more to come soon.